You might have seen the headlines in June 2025. Microsoft, one of the most valuable companies on the planet, announced it would lay off over 9,000 employees. This was its second major round of cuts this year. At the same time, Google quietly eliminated a quarter of its smart TV team. And Amazon's CEO warned staff that the company would shrink its workforce for years to come. After World War II, millions of families found stability through union jobs in manufacturing, steady work in government, and later the promise of white-collar careers in technology and finance. In just the first half of this year, over 100,000 jobs have been cut across the American tech sector alone. The people losing these jobs are not only coders and engineers, they are project managers, HR professionals, marketing experts, and support staff. Roles that once promised stability and upward mobility, according to data from layoffs. FYI, more than 150,000 tech jobs were cut in 2024, and the pace has only accelerated in 2025, with over 22,000 layoffs in the first 5 months alone. For much of the 20th century, productivity gains translated into higher wages and better benefits for workers. In 2025, companies like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon are investing billions in artificial intelligence, even as they cut tens of thousands of jobs. The logic is simple. AI can do the work of many employees, often faster and cheaper. These were not entry-level jobs. They were positions that paid well, offered benefits, and supported families. According to a recent Gallup poll, more than 60% of American workers now say they worry about losing their jobs to automation or offshoring, up from 40% just 5 years ago. The middle class, once defined by stability and security, is now increasingly defined by anxiety and uncertainty. They are signposts pointing to a future where the very idea of a stable, prosperous middle class is at risk, unless something changes, unless new policies, new business models, or new social contracts are forged. The slow collapse will continue. Is it automation, policy choices, or something else entirely? I am genuinely interested to hear your evidence-based perspective in the comments below. The company said it would hire more software engineers and data analysts instead, but the number of new roles was a fraction of those lost. The jobs that once provided stability are disappearing, replaced by automation and artificial intelligence. The benefits of economic growth are increasingly captured by a small elite, while most workers face growing insecurity. This is not just a story about technology. It is a story about power, policy, and the future of the American dream. The same pattern is playing out across the economy. Jobs lost to automation are not being replaced one for one with new opportunities. For shareholders, this means higher profits. For workers, it means fewer opportunities, less bargaining power, and more economic insecurity. But since the early 1980s, that link has been broken. The slow collapse of America's middle class is not the result of a single event or policy. It is the product of decades of economic shifts, offshoring, deregulation, and now automation that have systematically weakened the link between productivity and prosperity. The latest wave of tech layoffs is just the most visible symptom of a deeper transformation. The rise of an economy where the rewards of innovation are concentrated at the top. While the risks are pushed down onto workers, local businesses suffer. Tax bases shrink, public services are strained, and the promise of upward mobility, the idea that each generation can do better than the last, starts to fade. According to the Economic Policy Institute, from 1979 to 2023, worker productivity in the United States grew by over 60%, but hourly pay for the typical worker grew by less than 16%. The gap between what workers produce and what they are paid has become a chasm, and the benefits of innovation increasingly flow to shareholders and executives, not employees. The impact ripples outward, affecting suppliers, local businesses, and entire communities. Microsoft has slashed more than 15,000 roles since January, including 9,000 in July and 6,000 in May. The official explanations are familiar: slowing growth, rising costs, and the need to streamline operations. But look closer, and a different pattern emerges. Companies are not shrinking because they are failing. In fact, many are reporting record profits. Instead, they are redirecting resources toward automation and artificial intelligence. IBM, for example, laid off 8,000 employees in May. mostly from its human resources department after replacing them with an internal AI chatbot called Asker. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has openly stated that AI tools like GitHub Copilot are now writing up to 30% of new code, reducing the need for layers of support teams. Google, meanwhile, has been shifting resources away from traditional teams and into artificial intelligence projects, cutting thousands of jobs in the process. If company profits are at record highs, and if the promise of technology was to make life better for everyone, why are so many middle-class jobs disappearing? Where is all that value going? Amazon's CEO Andy Jassy has told employees to expect a once-in-a-lifetime reinvention of everything we know, as generative AI and automation fundamentally reshape the company's workforce. Home ownership, affordable healthcare, and the ability to send children to college were not just dreams, they were expectations. But over the past 50 years, that foundation has been steadily eroded by offshoring, deregulation, and the relentless march of technology. These are not isolated incidents. They are part of a much larger story that reaches far beyond Silicon Valley and into the heart of the American middle class. By the end of this video, you will understand the real forces driving these decisions, the numbers behind the headlines, and what they reveal about the slow collapse of America's middle class. We will connect the dots between layoffs, automation, and the shifting foundations of economic security, so you can see not just what is happening, but why it matters for your future. Let us start with the context. For decades, the American middle class was the backbone of the world's largest economy. Fast forward to 2025, and the numbers tell a stark story. This is not just a tech story, it is a middle-class story. So, what is really driving this wave of cuts? Let us pause and ask a direct question. The answer lies in a fundamental shift in how value is created and distributed in the 21st century. This pattern is especially visible in the tech sector. But the consequences do not stop there. As middle-class jobs disappear, so does the spending power that drives the broader economy. Let us look at a real-world example. In May 2025, IBM replaced 8,000 human resources roles with an AI chatbot. The result is a growing sense of precarity, even among those who still have jobs. So, what is the core insight? This is the moment of clarity. The headlines about layoffs are not just business news. In summary, the American middle class is being squeezed from all sides. So, now that you have seen the data, what do you believe is the most significant force driving the decline of the middle class? Is it automation, policy choices, or something else entirely? I am genuinely interested to hear your perspective in the comments below.